suffered a horrendous tragedy, a harm that has broken our hearts.
Tonight on Let It Rip, the tragedy that has touched the nation, the deadly shootings in Newtown, Connecticut.
They have their entire lives ahead of them. Birthdays, graduations, weddings.
As the country mourns, a new debate on how to prevent massacres like this from happening again.
And we're going to have to come together and take meaningful action to prevent more tragedies like this, regardless of the politics.
The only way we're going to prevent that is with like force. Sitting around a campfire singing Kumbaya is not going to do it.
It's a complex problem with no easy solutions. And some believe it's more a mental health issue than just a gun issue.
I don't think it's the guns. It's the person.
Parents, teachers, rabbis, priests, coaches. Everybody needs to step up. This has to be a time for change.
We are stepping up tonight. Time to let it rip. On the panel, Rick Ector, owner of Rick's Firearm Academy in Detroit, a man who believes in self-defense and who says the solution in some cases to gun violence is more guns, but in the hands of the right people. Next to him, the mayor of Southfield, who says the massacre in Newtown is deadly proof that the nation's current gun laws are too weak. Brenda Lawrence is here. And then there's attorney Neil Rockind. He's handled thousands of criminal cases from domestic abuse to murder, nicknamed the Rockweiler. He's ready to rip tonight. And as always, there's the judge and jury of Fox 2, attorney Charlie Langton. Now, a little later, we'll discuss the mental health aspect of this complex issue with Lansing Mayor Verge Bonero and psychiatrist Gerald Shiner, and discuss new technology to possibly make guns safer. But right now, we begin with Rick Ector. And Rick, I trust you. I know that you are a responsible gun owner.
Yes, sir.
And one of these days, I'm going to take one of your classes.
I'm waiting on it. It's been 2 years now.
I'm going to do it. But in light of what happened in Newtown,
yes, sir.
Why do you believe that in some cases more guns make situations safer?
Well, here's the thing. We are talking about a situation in which a clearly deranged individual who shot and killed his own mother, stole her guns, drove them in her car, which was also stolen, to a gun-free zone to attack innocent people. You know, a gun-free zone. A question I like to ask a lot of people, and I say this. I said, if you were a resident of Newtown, Connecticut, and your child was in that school, knowing that when the police got there and showed some opposing force to this guy who killed himself, would you want at least one person in that school to confront that individual? Would you want that? I have yet to find. I have yet to find someone who will answer that.
I'll
question.
answer that question. I just offered to answer it. I'll answer.
You're anti-gun. Would you want someone there?
I'll answer
would you want someone there?
You could talk over me.
I'm going to phrase the question.
You phrased the question. You said,
"Go ahead."
If from someone from Newton, Connecticut, would they want someone, one person, inside that school to confront Adam Adam Lanza? And the answer is that when you make that statement, you undervalue and you devalue the courage and the type of character that police officers bring in situations like that. Police officers are trained and they have an internal fiber to go a different way in the face of danger. They go towards danger. They don't run away from it.
Okay.
And you're asking, hold on. And if you're asking me, do I want, as people who are supposed to be there to educate my kids, do I want the art teacher or the music director or the phys ed teacher to all of a sudden start putting on camel paint and pulling out a gun from their pocket?
Here's the thing. I will address that. Here's the thing. We have a gun-free zone. In a gun-free zone, there is no one there to provide opposition to this clearly deranged madman. Excuse me, I'm talking. You over-talk me. Be quiet, please. Now, here's the thing. Here's the thing. It took the police 10 minutes to get there. Now, you know what? Granted, they praised the police for getting there in 10 minutes, but 10 minutes, I'm telling you, when seconds count, you know what? 10 minutes is way too long, and obviously there was clearly a loss of life. We need a plan to have someone there to oppose this madman.
Brenda Lawrence.
Huel, the debate right now is America on the right track? We're talking about guns and we're seeing more and more mass murders. We must understand that guns are not the answer. In my high schools, and in most of the high schools, there are armed police officers in our high schools. And they are there to keep order. The teachers are not there carrying guns. I do not support, do I think it will add any value to take a school teacher and arm her with a gun? Because I have had friends, and you have as well, been robbed and they had their gun on them. When you are not a trained police officer or someone who handles a gun on a regular basis, carrying a gun is not going to remedy the situation.
Here's the thing.
It's not going to remedy the situation.
Here's the thing. A lot of people like to
guns in my
project
kids'
their insecurities and their ability to defend themselves. You do not need to be on a SWAT team to be able to oppose some deranged person that's creating this imminent threat to our safety. You don't have to be a commando. You don't have to be a You're anti-gun and you don't even own a gun. You think that.
Charlie Langton has the floor.
I just wonder, are you saying that we should have first grade teachers should have
It doesn't
guns?
have to be a first grade teacher.
Yeah,
I'm saying someone in that class. If it's a first grade teacher who has been trained how to use
reasonable gun control. If we had an armed guard like they do in Southfield, like many schools in Detroit have that, I think that's reasonable.
That's fine. That's fine. That's not gun control. But here's the thing. You're getting caught up on a first grade teacher. I'm saying have someone in that school. In Newtown, Connecticut, there was nobody there to oppose this man.
Let me say this. This is going on right now. In Harold, Texas, they allow every teacher in the school, elementary, middle school, high school level, to carry concealed weapons. They're considering the same kind of law in South Dakota, Missouri, Oklahoma. The object is not to meet force with force. If somebody comes in with an assault weapon, no, they're not going to have an assault weapon, but there may be one person, a teacher, an aide, a janitor, somebody who can fire one bullet enough to stop or kill the threat.
There you go.
Huel, can I say
I'm opposed to that.
Me too. And it presupposes so many.
Status quo is unacceptable.
I agree. Which means that we need to start actually focusing on the things that make people like Adam Lanza more dangerous and homicidal.
Now, I agree.
Take away their AR-15s. Take away in Connecticut, which had the 5th toughest gun law in the country. Apparently, an AR-15 military assault style rifle or gun with a grenade launcher was legal.
But here's the point I want to get to. Here's the point I want to get to. Everyone wants to talk about what the crazy people do and the deranged people do, the mentally ill people do. We're talking about there should be no reason why a law-abiding citizen should not be able to exercise his right to keep and bear firearms. You want to take the actions of a mentally you want to take the actions of a madman and disarm a man.
Hold on. Stop. Time out. Don't put words in my mouth ever. So let me stop there.
What are you saying?
Second, people are allowed. I don't have a problem with certain people, possessing a hunting rifle or a handgun in their home. I have no problem with that. Hold on.
The amendment is bigger than
Explain. Whoa, stop. Explain to me why you think that the Second Amendment somehow has no reservation and no limitation when the First Amendment does, when the Fourth Amendment does, when the Fifth Amendment does, when every other amendment that we hold dear has some limitation. Why do you people think that the Second Amendment is everything?
I won't even take offense. I'm going to respond to him. 20,000. There are 20,000 guns.
Let Rick respond.
It's 20,000 guns on the books here. I don't care if there's another 20,000.
Brenda, let Rick
will not
respond.
obey the law. Can't get people to understand that.
Okay, Brenda, he makes an important point, though. The toughest gun laws will not keep guns out of the hands of criminals, will not stop every instance of violence.
Everyone's hand is not going to stop this madness that we have taken on in the United States.
You put
guns in everyone's hand. We went through that in the
Nobody said put guns in everybody's hand. What we're talking about.
Reasonable restrictions on the Second Amendment.
20,000 gun laws.
We're talking about having reasonable restrictions. For example, do we really need assault rifles in schools, for example?
Here's the thing. What is an assault?
Let's Charlie.
Can we have guards in schools that have a gun to prevent, maybe prevent some deranged person from going into the school? Yes, of course. That's what we need. That's reasonable. But I'm not saying arm all the teachers.
I didn't say that, Charlie.
I shouldn't arm even. You shouldn't arm any teacher.
Good. That's good that you're not saying that.
I don't want any teacher.
I would like for someone armed in that school. If it's a teacher, fine. If it's a security guard, fine.
Oh, that's good. We all agree on that.
He doesn't. That's okay.
No, I didn't. I said if there's a police officer, I told you this off the air in the green room. If there's a police police officer, if the person is trained, if the person is actually skilled, if they have repeat training, if their actual background has been tested so we know that they're stable, they have yearly mental health checkups so we know that they're actually stable. I would like someone like that in school, someone who's visible. What I don't want is what was proposed recently, and that is to have teachers who are there to educate my children to take on the added burden of somehow being Rambo-esque.
You're getting caught up on teachers. I'm saying, look, it was a gun-free zone, and no one was there to provide an opposing force to this madman. I could care less who the person is, as long as that person is there and they are trained.
Are you hinting that madman went to a school because it was a gun-free
Exactly.
zone?
Gun-free zones provide an easy, target-rich environment for low-hanging fruit, for a madman to rack up a huge body count. This is where all of these events occur.
As a person,
What do you say?
When we talk about
Stop.
Brenda?
What do you say to Americans now who are running to the gun stores? Because this happened in a school in Connecticut. And buying guns and just stacking them up, and I'm going to be safe now. And that is a false reality. That's a false reality.
It's not a false reality.
It's a false reality.
You want to know why people are going to the gun range to buy guns?
It's a false reality.
Because when President Obama had an opportunity to address the situation when a sitting member of Congress got shot, you know why this issue didn't come up? Why we didn't take advantage of this opportunity to address mental health?
I'm dying to
Because he wanted to run for re-election and did not want to be labeled anti-gun. And you know what? He got re-elected. He got re-elected, and this presents his opportunity for his party to dance in the blood of the victims.
Hold on.
Dance in the blood of the victims. Someone would accuse the NRA of doing that very thing.
They're exploiting this issue politically.
Why would
Maybe there is consensus now. Maybe the country has changed its mind.
When you got gun shops all over this country, people buying guns, no, I don't see the sense of the country changing.
It's the same. I think it's the same people. All right.
Look at the gun sales.
We are running out of time here for this segment. We will discuss that issue and more, including why people are buying guns and the mental health issue as well.
Look at that sheet.
Panel, we appreciate your comments and your insights. It's not over. Much more to come. Well, the debate, as you say, is raging. Some say that what we should really focus on, not just the guns, but mental health. More. Let it rip when we come back.